the 4th. I am Bruce Leonard, of course, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today, I believe. Today is Zoran Mamdani Day here on Bruce Leonard Leans Left. I must say, I have been indulging in a rare pleasure of mine the last couple, I don't know, the last half hour or so, which is my mom had Fox News on, and watching their veins in their foreheads starting to bulge out because thinking about Mom Donnie. Mom Donnie is like everything that they fear wrapped into one thing. It's like he's a Muslim. He's a Democrat socialist. He's a communist. He's a terrorist. The only thing that could make it funnier is if he was trans. If it came out, Mom Donnie was once a woman. And he plays sports. It's like that's the only thing that could make it worse. You should have seen all the press in the last week tried to destroy him. See, listen, Mom Donnie is dangerous, not because he's a Muslim, not because he's young and charismatic, and not because he's a terrorist, or not because he's a communist or a socialist. He's dangerous because he's about to prove the idea that you can help people with the government and not fucking coddle these billionaires, and people are gonna see it's not so bad as they've been told. And that is what they're terrified of, my friends. Mamdani represents a major shift in the thinking of the system of America and how it can be run. Thinking about the citizens first, as opposed to these giant corporations and billionaires like Elon Musk. And then swoop Cuomo back in. Ah, remember him? It's unbelievable. Hello, Avery the Icon, I guess. Hey, that's actually clever. Welcome. We're talking about how scary Zoran Mamdani is to the establishment. As I said, they've thrown everything they could throw at this guy in the last week. Every single accusation you could possibly. They even were like, he called his cousin his aunt. Like that's something bad. All the things that Trump has done. And they're like, this guy called his aunt or his cousin his aunt. And it's like, yes, that's what all people do in his culture. You know, like, it's just part of the culture. It's weird to white people. Yeah, because you fuck your cousin, probably. It's unbelievable. The unself-awareness of a lot of these people. It's just... I'm well. How are you? Where are you at, may I ask? I wish I could get someone on here that's in New York City that could tell me like what it's like on the ground there, like how bad they're going after Mom Donnie. And like I said, don't be fooled. Oh, and I have to break the news to you as well. I'm sorry, but if you have SNAP benefits, Trump has decided he's not going to pay them. Unilaterally, of course, after being ordered by the court to pay them, he's going to defy the court order. He says he's not paying SNAP benefits until the Democrats reopen the government.
How much money does a YouTube comment?
I'm sorry that I'm laughing about because it is not something to be laughed at.
What?
It's horrible. But did you expect anything else? First he said he wasn't going to do it. right? Then the court told him he had to do it. Then he said, "Oh, I'll be glad to do it." Oh yeah, and because it's bad politically to starve people. But then he woke up this morning for some reason and decided that it didn't matter. It's yes, Trump is bad. Hello, Haley's Cozy Corner. Thank you for being here again. Yes, exactly. Welcome to all the new people that they're just tuning into this show, maybe for the first time. Yes, Trump is bad. That's the central theme of this show. But also, yes, Nick Gers, happy birthday, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Why are you watching me on your birthday? You should go out and do some shit. Go vote if you're somewhere where they're voting. They're voting over here for the mayor, like I told you. J.D. Vance's fucking brother-in-law. This is where we're at in this country. It's like, can we get somebody to be a good mayor? Who we got? Well, he's J.D. Vance's brother-in-law. Well, yeah, run him up. It's like, oh, wait, he got caught not paying taxes on his business. Why do you say that, Avery? I'm curious. Why do you think Kamala Harris is worse than Trump? Yeah, I see it now. How clever. Well, I guess you got me. It's like, I will not read it twice because I'm not that fucking stupid. That's how dumb do you think I am? Yes, he's trying. Again, he's like, I am not that stupid. You did get me once, I'll give you that. Anyway, I hope you don't have a snap card, Nick. Because you're going to be starving tomorrow. But anyway, so it confirms what I've told you on this show 100 times. It's just all the things I've told you. Number one, Trump doesn't give a fuck about you or your children. He's going to starve you, literally, to make a political point. Two, he doesn't care about the law, the courts, the Constitution. He doesn't give two shits. Trump is going to do what he wants to do until someone stops him. Period. And they got the Congress is shut down, so there's no one to stop him. What's the court going to do to him? Hold him in contempt? What does that even mean? Hold the president in contempt. And does the immunity that the Supreme Court gave him, is it blanket? Like, this is an official act, right? Which makes it subject to Supreme Court immunity. That was insane, but they did that. Like, oh, the president's got to be free to do what he thinks he needs to do to run the country and not be concerned about getting prosecuted, even if what he's doing is a crime. It's like, what? So, what's the point of the law? It's like, can someone explain that to me? What's the point of the law if it doesn't apply? Oh, yeah, sure, there's a law against it, but it doesn't apply to him because the Supreme Court said he has complete immunity. It's like, I don't know. We're in a bad spot. Like I said, this is the thing about Zoraida Mamdani. He represents a dawning of something new. New era where, like I said, I mean, it could be wishful thinking or like hopeful optimism, that there's a way out of this. But the way out of this is for the Democratic Party to go back to being a party of the people. See, this is the secret that they don't want you to know. that the corporations have taken over both parties. And so there's only two parties, and the billionaires control them both. Now they pretend like it's a choice, but it's not really a choice, is it? If you look at what happened, I mean, it is a choice stylistically and philosophically, I guess, of what the president's going to do. But behind the scene of all of it, they're just going to give the corporations what they want because they're all tools of the corporations. They're all bought off. Half the Republican Party bought off by Russia. And now you say that and people say, oh, you're crazy. But again, it was proven that Russians financed Mike Johnson's campaigns. Citizens United opened the gate for foreign influences to pour money into the political system. And ever since Citizens United was passed, this country's been going downhill. Because, I mean, not for them. They'll point to the stock market and all that and say, oh, look at the stock market's at record levels. Yeah, but does that affect you? Julia says Mitch, Turtle, McConnell, the 6 extremist judges, and feckless Merrick Garland are blamed for this shit. None of them. Well, yeah. Yeah. They were too soft, if you ask me. They should have locked Trump in prison, like when they had the chance. Where he belonged. He should have arrested him and put him on trial before the election even happened. But they were too scared to do that. Like that goes back to the Nixon thing. Oh, you can't try a president. Meanwhile, you look around the world, they've all done it. All these countries that had a criminal president. Right? Brazil, South Korea, France. They put the fucker on trial and they sent him to prison. That's what and that's what should have happened here, but we're too fucking soft. And they want to say, like, oh, and it's true that they would probably have started a partisan war, but what do we got now? It's a partisan war. And they're fighting, like with the gloves off and doing whatever dirty shit they can. Right out in the open, they don't even care. And Democrats still act like, well, we gotta try to. That's why I like the shutdown. It's like, fuck trying to compromise with these fucks. They're not gonna compromise. I told you before, all they care about is power. This guy wrote something on the Substack that I thought was interesting because it's exactly something that I said on this show several times. And this guy is a reformed. He used to be with the Christian nationalists, and now he's not. He went to some other sect of Christianity that's against it. His name is Tim Whitaker. But he said, exactly, he said, Christian nationalists do not care that they're hypocrites. They don't care that Trump's Great Gatsby party featured scantily clad women dancing in champagne bowls. They don't care that J.D. Vance and Erica embrace in a way that would be considered wildly inappropriate in a white evangelical church. These people do not care because their ultimate goal is power. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll see why I keep telling you to stop trying to negotiate with them. And I've said that here on this show 100 times. I mean, not that exact thing, but the power. That's all they care about is power. They've decided that in order to get what they want, they have to give up their own principles, their own morals. They have to become ruthless and lie and do whatever it takes because they're fanatics. This is the problem. And this is another point that I've made on this show. Is these are fanatics. And it's hard to fight fanatics. You know why? Because most people are just living their lives and they're just going through their life doing whatever. Right? Fanatics wake up every day. Fanatical about whatever it is they're fanatical about. 24 hours a day. Like Stephen Miller never turns off. I said that before 100 times too. I'm sure he's fun at parties, Stephen Miller. Man, this is a fun party, but he won't shut the fuck up about immigrants and shit. It's like, oh, that's all he ever talks about. Yes, he's a fanatic. It's what's called a fanatic. And that's what these people are. A lot of them born to fanatics and taught to be that way from the time they were children. They drag these children to these churches and they fucking brainwash them. That's how it works. That's why they want you to have more babies. You gotta have more babies. We can brainwash other babies, and then we won't be the minority. The truth is, they're always gonna be the minority because most people aren't fanatics. Sure, there's a certain number of, but like I said, technology has unleashed this machine. It's a brainwash machine. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it has reach across all these platforms. The television, the internet, your phone, and you have it in your hand 24 hours a day. They have access to you. And it's changed the world, and not in a good way. Just like I said, Nazism has become a worldwide movement. And they all work together to advance their agendas. You know, because they can, because of the internet. It used to be like you'd have to write them a letter. It would take weeks, to correspond. I guess you could talk on the phone, but you can't get a million people to read some bullshit you made like you can now. You can't brainwash mass amounts of people at the same time like you can now. The world is much different than it was back then. Back then, let's say, it's stereotypical to use it now, but let's just use it. Let's say you lived in 1930s Germany or whatever, right? You had to go down to the street and find whoever was selling the Jew-hating fucking rag that you wanted to read, and you buy it, and you take it home, and it's not like, now it's like, they bring the Jew-hating rag to your door, they knock on the door, hey, would you like to read it's much easier for them to get inside of your head and brainwash you. And it's much easier for them to coordinate their activities worldwide. That's why Trump likes Viktor Orban and people like that, because that's what they envision for America, is an oligarchic, like I said, corporately controlled fascism, really. I mean, it's like I said, they say, oh, you can't call us fascists. Like, meanwhile, Trump's taking like little tiny pieces of all these companies, which means that the government is involved in these corporations, getting kickback, money off of it. What do they call that? You look at the fascism, like, that's the textbook definition of fascism: a merging of corporatism and the state. That's what it is. And people are still like, oh, you can't say that. It's like, oh, they don't even know what it is that they're participating in. And that's the real problem, that this country is filled with people who are so fucking stupid that they really believe that Zoran Mamdani is a communist. Like, what do they think he's gonna do? They act like, oh, he's gonna build a wall around New York and it's gonna turn into like East Berlin. There's this communist stronghold in the middle of the state of New York. All because he said maybe people should be able to ride the bus for free. And, maybe people who lived in neighborhoods that didn't have any grocery stores should have a store. And they're like, oh my God! And he said, maybe we shouldn't give all these big, giant billionaires tax breaks while we deny people services and things that they should get for their tax dollars. Oh no! He's quite a terrorist. It's a threat. To our way of life. It's like, yes, your way of life is fucking over regular people and putting the boot on them, bro. That's, and you know what? People are getting tired of it. And you know what? Look at the economy. It doesn't work. It never has. Every time the right wing takes control of this country, they crash the economy. Every single time. Yeah, see, they run up the deficit. Oh, I haven't mentioned Dick Cheney died. I should have led with that. The elephant is dead, as Bill Hicks would say. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at another man's death, but you know how many people died because of Dick Cheney? Not just our people, people in other countries. And Dick Cheney was the guy who wanted to invade Iraq. Dick Cheney was the guy who said they had weapons of mass destruction and ordered the intelligence community to concoct a case. Dick Cheney's the guy that took a good man, Colin Powell, and made him go in front of the Congress and lie his ass off, which ruined his career. He resigned pretty much in disgrace and never really did anything after that. And he was a promising person at that time. A real man of integrity. Well, I mean, until the end. Until they forced him to lie. And that's why he resigned in shame. Because was a decent person. Dick Cheney ruined his life. Dick Cheney, like I said, because of him, millions of people died in Iraq. It's the same stories over and over and over. Now you're reading that Trump's going to hit Venezuela maybe by Friday. I told you we're going to war with Venezuela. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a war, but we're gonna bomb them at least. You know, I don't know about land invasion with troops and shit, but we're gonna kill some people in Venezuela. I hope that everybody that voted for Trump feels like they're personally responsible when these people die, because they are. Because why would you elect this madman again? Yes, Julian. And he knew it too. There was all kinds of stories at that time where Colin Powell was like yelling, like, "I'm not going to say this. This is bullshit." You know, and they were like, "You got to do it." They made him do it. And again, like, once you get that high up, I don't know what they threaten you with, but apparently they have ways. I think for him, it was his sense of loyalty. He's a soldier. He follows orders. He was ordered to do it, so he did it. Yeah, Ken, just don't be his hunting buddy. He shot his friend in the face. With the duck gun. The duck gun, I must say, must not be very powerful, because he shot his friend in the face at like point blank range and he didn't die. You'd think that if that was a 12 gauge or something, you'd blow your head clean off. Some pellets, like I said. But yeah, Dick Cheney represents the beginning of all this, really, because after 9/11, it was Dick Cheney who wanted to expand the executive power. He's the one who said we need the Patriot Act and all that other bullshit that they did. He was the architect of all that stuff. And because of him, there was an interesting point some guy made earlier. I can't remember his name. I wish I could give him the credit for it. But he was saying Dick Cheney was, one of the first people who started this trend of wanting to expand the executive power, only to live long enough to see Trump use that power against his daughter. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like that should be a warning sign to most Republicans, but they're not. They won't see it because they're all in the cult, in the Trump cult. Meanwhile, I read Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance had some kind of secret meeting here in Ohio about how to keep the mega movement alive after Trump is gone. Shocker there, huh? I told you, the real president is Peter Thiel. He owns J.D. Vance is Thiel's creature. Thiel created J.D. Vance out of thin air. J.D. Vance isn't even his real name. He plucked this guy up, gave him a bunch of money, paid for his Yale, law school education or whatever he's fucking got, and gave him a cush job in some fucking real estate firm or some shit. I don't even know what they did. It was like equity firm, you know. And the people that worked there said he didn't do anything. Sat around. Because he's, like I said, he's Theo's creature. Yes, James Bowman. That's his name. And his brother-in-law who's running for mayor over here, he still got the Bowman. That's his name. Bowman or whatever. I think. I can't remember. His name. No, because I said, I guess not, because that would make him his real brother. He's his brother-in-law. That's it. Did you see Trump on the 60 Minutes? Now, I shouldn't watch 60 Minutes because it's garbage now, but couldn't help but see some clips of it. And like I said, Trump just lies. He just says shit. Like she's like, groceries are more expensive. He's like, no, they aren't. Trump's like the Dark Knight in Monty Python. It's like the economy's bad. No, it isn't. These ice rates have gone a little too far, don't you think? No, they haven't. They haven't gone far enough, he said. Because they haven't actually started shooting people. It's like, how much farther do you want them to go? She said, grocery prices are higher. No, they aren't. Like, your arm's off. No, it isn't. And people sit and listen to this guy. He's the president of the United States. It's insane, really, when you think about it. I mean, if you got to think about these other countries. Can you imagine what it must be like if you live in England or France or Spain? You know, I mean, these countries have had turbulent pasts, so I guess some would understand it. But anyway, you're just watching this guy. And he's like, this guy's the president of the United States. And he's like, gas prices are high. No, they aren't. Meanwhile, he's like, at this ballroom, and you see it. You're like, the government's shut down. You're about to starve people out of their SNAP benefits. He's like building a $400 million ballroom, sending billions of dollars to his friends in Argentina, and no one cares. These mega people, it doesn't matter what he does. They're like, oh, it's a brilliant, genius move to fuck over our soybean farmers and give $40 billion to Argentina, who's our major competitor. There's nothing wrong with this. It's genius. It's Trumponomics. You're like, dude, it's insane. You get the guy in the White House, all you gotta do is say, oh yeah, you're great. Oh, I think you're the best president there's ever been in the history of the world, and have all presidents. And really, and all I want from you is for you to give us a nuclear submarine. And he goes, oh yeah, here you go. Here's a plane. Our gift to you. All we want to do is build a military base inside of your territory. Oh yeah, that'd be great. What are you? A Muslim country, a major financier of terrorism across the world? Okay. Come on in. Here's access to our most secure technologies. Because this guy's a genius. It's well, they always say 4D chess. What is that? Blocks. That's like people convince themselves that this guy's playing 4D chess, man. He's thinking 5 steps ahead of these people. It's like, are you serious? He doesn't know what happened last week. It's like, they asked him about pardoning the crypto guy, right? And his excuse was just, I don't even know who it is. What? You pardon the guy? You don't know who it is? Yeah, my son's asked me to do it. What? He casually just says, now one, you know that's a fucking lie, right? He knows who the guy is. But two, if it isn't, what do you mean you're just pardoning guys because your sons asked you to? You know who else had sons? Saddam. They were named Uday and Qusay, and all they did was go around. Well, they were terrible, horrible people that raped and killed, people all the time, and nobody fucking said anything because they were Saddam Hussein's sons. Now, Trump's sons don't rape and kill people, but they just go around and fucking corrupt as fuck. It's the same shit. This is why I thought it was brilliant. I finally saw the new South Park. It's brilliant how they made Trump Saddam Hussein, basically, because that's what he is. Trump thinks that he's a fucking dictating ruler of all Earth. That's what he really thinks. That's why he's like, I stopped 10 wars. I just told him to stop. They never. Half the wars didn't exist. The others is that he didn't stop. Like there's a ceasefire in place. How's that working out for you? You see what happened in Israel? I mean, and if you don't know this, in Israel, the head lawyer at the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, she found out that they were abusing people inside the Israeli prison, right? And then there was a video of it. There's a video of them laying out all these people on the ground, and then they sexually abused some of them right on the video. So this woman released a video. She had an investigation about these people. She found this stuff out. She released a video. So what did Netanyahu and them do? The Israeli government? They went after her. They said, this is terrible public relations for Israel. And she must be fired, and now they're like investigating her for something. They're going to try to put her in jail for releasing this. Instead of saying, taking responsibility for your people being fucking out of control. And that's the problem with the right-wing people. The modern right is evil, bro. It's fascist and evil. And they're more concerned about public relations than they are about human relations. Because their human relations is to put their fucking boot on you. They're not humanists in any way. They don't care about people. They care about power. And that's it. And that's the problem. And Mamdani represents something different. And I say it's time we try something different. Because what we've been doing ain't fucking working. And we said, let's do something different. We'll go with Trump. And that ain't working. And they can say it's working all they want, but it ain't working. It's like, there's a whole industry now trying to prop up that what Trump's doing is working. Meanwhile, he's the least popular than he's ever been. He's 1 point off of his January 6th popularity. That's why he was voted out. He was trying to hold on to power. And now he's in office and he's at that number. It's only going to get worse. That's the thing. People got to remember that this is America. We have the power. As long as we still have our freedom. That's why the freedom is important. We have to use the freedom to take down fucks like this. Period. And they say, oh, they're going to try to suppress the vote. Fuck that. I said, you just vote in so many numbers they can't press nothing. And there's way more of us than there are of them. And that's one of the points of this show is people need to wake up and realize that the more that you don't participate in the system, the more it benefits them. And now, participating in the system is only, it's not like you have to dedicate your life to it or you have to fucking volunteer to do a bunch of shit. Like, all you gotta do is stay informed a little bit and vote. Now, you can do all those other things if you want and you want to pour your life into it, and that's great. But you don't have to do that. You just stay informed and vote. And remember that last episode I told you about how I private messaged this person and asked them how they could believe this bullshit, with a fake story. I mean, a real story that was on Newsmax is fake, obviously, but that they push as real. And you're like, hey, you know that this is a fake story because you said yourself that you know it's fake. But yet, here they are pushing it. And I was like, how can you sit here and tell me that you believe and trust these fucking sources where you get your information from? Remember, I predicted to you because they had not replied, that because they didn't have a real answer to my question, that they were going to dig and dig and dig and look around until they could find some bullshit that they could say. And that's exactly what happened. They're so predictable. The person was like, no, well, I agree with you. I don't trust any of them. But I looked around and as far as I could tell, the Democrats shut off the SNAP program and blah, 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 blah. All these right-wing talking points here. It's like, you didn't understand what I told you at all, did you? Because people believe what they want to believe. Facts, truth, all that. Be damned. It doesn't matter. That's how they feel. That's why right-wing identity politics works. Is it gets in your feelings. It gets you feeling about shit. And when you're feeling about shit, you don't really think. Because your emotions cloud your thinking. And they're all angry. Ah! And then they don't even realize they're getting fucked. Well, they're starting to, because they're really getting fucked. Like I was just walking around my store today. I was like, damn, all these prices are up. All of them. Even like baked goods. You're like, whoa. Like the muffins used to be $5.99, I think. Today, or maybe $6.99. Today, $7.49. I was like looking at the thing. It was like $7.49. Like, oh, the price went up. All the prices going up. Yes, Laura. Overthinking. What's it? Overthinking, overanalyzing separates the body from the body. It's a Maynard line, but it's true. They said you don't think as much when you're emotionally clouded. You when your emotions start flowing, and it's good to have emotions, but when your emotions start flowing, your brain starts it doesn't work right. Then you start inventing shit. That's why it's these fanatics, like I said, it's easy to get them going, because it's easy to bamboozle them, because they ain't thinking about nothing except, oh! That's why Mom Donnie, They don't have any real arguments against what he's trying to say, right? That the cost of living is too fucking high and people need to be able to live, right? They don't have real argument for that. So what do? He's a communist! And what happens when you call him a communist? It triggers the fucking average jerk off, and they go, "Oh, it's a communist!" And they don't think about what he's really saying, which is he's trying to help you. Now you understand the progressives and the socialists, these people, have been demonized in this country for so long for that reason. Because they're dangerous to the system, which is the rich people running all the shit. And it's always been this way. They had the railroad barons and the robber barons and the cattle barons and the gold rush barons. You know, whoever was controlling whatever was going on economically at the time is running shit. You know how crooked the railroad was? I mean, if you know the history of it. They could have ran it straight, but they didn't do that because they were getting paid by the mile. So they turned it in this way and that way to run up extra miles and run to take money. It's like it's all paid for by tax dollars and by the U.S. Treasury. And the corrupt senators giving them fucking getting kickbacks. That's how everything in this country is. This is the most corrupt fucking cesspool country there ever has been. And that's what I'm saying is anybody who's a politician for the people is dangerous to that system. That's why they kill most of them. So, what, Putin? No, that's kind of been on the back burner. I did see a thing yesterday. They said it doesn't matter what you do to us economically. The war is number one. You know, Putin is going down with this war. I mean, he staked his whole career on it. Basically, at this point, you know, he's invested in it too much. Too many people have died. He can't just walk away from it. It's one of them things. It's like Vietnam. Really, Ukraine is really Putin's Vietnam. If you want to make a historical comparison to it, because it's true. Except we weren't trying to overtake Vietnam. We were trying to defend South Vietnam. But he's invaded himself in there, and now he's in there, and he's been in there for so long, and people have died. So many people have died, he can't just walk out with nothing and say, "Oh, well, we lost," you know. Because then he looks fucking terrible, he looks weak, and his people will turn on him probably. So he can't do that. He's got to continue to try to project this image of strength and, you know, resolve, and this war is necessary for the Russian Federation, you know, or whatever he tells his people. But it's really the same situation. Because when we were in Vietnam, the same thing. It's like people knew we should get out, but it's like the people didn't want to just get out because that looks bad. The United States would have to admit that they had been defeated. And at that point, I don't think we'd ever been defeated. Oh, Twitch is on. Good. I haven't got no Twitch bots. But I find it very, very similar, really. And I never really thought about it until you asked me that question, and it made me think about it in a way that I had not before. And it is true, historically speaking. I'm going to ask Daniele about this next time he's on. He'll have a better take than me on that, I would think. But it is true that it's very similar. Because if you know anything about Vietnam, they knew years before the Vietnam War ended and we left Vietnam that it was not winnable. And they were trying for years why people died, to try to figure out a way that they could either turn it around, or once they figured it out, it was like, well, how do we get out without looking terrible? Which it wound up looking terrible anyway, right? When they were chopping people out of the the fucking embassy and the Viet Cong were coming, right into fucking bad. Saigon, was bad. I don't know if you ever seen them videos. It's like they were getting people out of the helicopters all the way to the last second. And the whole place was just coming apart. And bad. That's what I mean. There's really no way out of it for him. Except for, like, he's got to get out of there. But he ain't going to do that. I don't think that people realize that. Like, he's not going to give up on that. And Ukraine's not going to give up on trying to stay Ukraine. So it's a stalemate. And that's that's what it is, really. As long as the European countries keep propping up Ukraine and giving them shit. Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. Fuck Israel. Not the Jewish people, but the government of Israel is bad. They're just as responsible for the situation that they're in, and they'll never say that. That's the other part of it. Is everything is so partisan. You can't have a nuanced discussion about it. You can't. You have to say Hamas is terrible because of October 7th, which is terrible. Now, I want to make that perfectly clear. Murder and violence is always terrible, right? But you can't be like, oh, this just happened for no reason. Like there's reasons. But we're not allowed to discuss those reasons because then they call you an anti-Semite or whatever. That people do that. I've noticed. Somebody did that to me today. Like, if you try to make a point about something that's about Israel or another race, because I was wondering I saw yesterday on CNN this story, and it was like Latinos and immigrants from other countries who were like, we're going to vote for Cuomo. And you're like, there are people who left the Democratic Party to vote for Trump, but now they're unhappy with Trump. And so they're trying to find something else, and then they're like, we're going back to Cuomo. Because for some reason they're terrified of Mamdani because they believe what I said earlier, that Mamdani is going to build a wall around New York City and turn it into a communist stronghold. or an Islamist stronghold and declare Sharia law, or some ridiculous shit that's never going to fucking happen. But they believe that this could happen, because it has happened in other countries. That, that's the other thing that they do a lot. Is they go, oh, look what happened. Like they'll say, what was it before? Venezuela. They always use Venezuela as a punching bag. But remember, I can't remember the guy's name. Hugo, where was Hugo Chavez from? Is that Venezuela or some shit, right? Maybe Argentina. One of them South American countries. He was like a left-wing strongman, and he really crashed the economy with communism or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, look at that! That's what happens." It's like that's not really what happens. Like that's a guy like Trump, except instead of being a right-wing guy, he's a left-wing guy, but he's the same guy. He just uses the system to enrich himself and all of his friends. Yes, Trump endorsed Cuomo. That's what I mean. So did Elon Musk. They're like, and these immigrants are like, we're going to vote for Cuomo because we don't like Trump. It's like, well, Trump and Musk, they want Cuomo. So what does that make him? That you're still voting? It's. And I was like, then they're like, what does that tell you about these people? And I was like, that they're easily fucking swindled. And one of my friends who likes to fight with me all the time, was like, oh, that's a racist thing to say. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not a racist, right? So that's bullshit take, right? Because this person's been following me for years. I'm not a fucking racist. Second of all, this is a person who sits quietly while their own people are being oppressed and says nothing about it. And in fact, defends the oppressors of her people. And so, you expect me to care about your fucking opinion? You won't even speak up for your own people. In fact, you endorse The mistreatment of these people. And then you call me a racist. It's like, the same as Israel. You try to have a discussion about Israel, they say, you're an anti-Semite. And that's because they don't have a real argument against what you're saying to them. And so the easiest way to shut it down is to negate it by saying that whatever you're saying is bigoted somehow, and that you should be. It's a gaslight. It's another form of gaslighting, just like the whole fucking right wing. That's what they do. Because they can't really debate these issues because their ideas are terrible. And most of them aren't that educated. They just like to pretend like they are. They think that people who are educated are the elite, who's trying to get something over on them, With your fancy word talk. It's like, trying to confuse me. So they word salad you. And then they call you a bigot or a racist. That's a way for them to not actually address the point that you're making, because they really don't have an argument to the point that you're making, because you can't argue the truth. The truth is that right wing and Republicans, they use religion and cultural issues to make people get all ginned up and vote against their own interests. They go, well, I might be losing my SNAP benefits and stuff, but at least that trans person's not in the bathroom, or whatever. Like the owning the liberals people. They don't care. Like, well, I might lose my farm, my soybean farm and shit, but hey, we're owning the libs. I mean, let me post a meme on them. It's like, yes, they just repeat the scripted talking points, Julia. That's all they do. That's why I just stopped talking to them. I don't respect any of them. That's what that girl did. I told you. Well, I messaged her privately. She took 2 days to do a bunch of research, and then came back and just spewed out a bunch of right-wing talking points. It was like, well, from what I gathered, it was like the script of the Jesse Waters show for that night, And, what I gather is the Democrats have turned off the SNAP, and we've arrested an Antifa lieutenant, and but I don't trust these sources, she said. But I just showed you lied to you. They lie to you on a daily basis. I said, all these things they said about Mamdani are not true. They're all ginned up. Like I said, once again, most have like a little tiny kernel of truth buried in the very bottom of whatever bullshit that they always start it with that. It's like a soup, it's like when a poor person doesn't have anything to eat, so they have to make everything last, right? So at the very end, when they've eaten all the meat and shit, they take the bones of whatever they were eating, right? And they put it in a pot of hot water and make a broth, and then make a stew or a soup, right? But the beginnings of that soup are just these fucking bones, right? And that's what right wing shit is. It's usually a little tiny bone of something that's true in the very bottom of this stew of bullshit that then they create around it. And it's like the story about Obama and the tennis court, the basketball court. It cost $325 million basketball court. Right? It's like, yeah, Obama did make a basketball court, but the $300 million renovation was already passed before he was even president by George W. Bush and approved by Congress to update the wiring and the HVAC system inside the White House. And then Obama took and painted some lines on the tennis court and put up a hoop. So it is true that there was a renovation. It is true that he put up a basketball court. But it's not true that Obama just ordered that to happen. Because it's a bullshit story. But they know they're lying. But they do it anyway. And then they don't not just one guy. They send out a fax to all the Benny Johnsons and the Tim Pools and the Ben Shapiros and the fucking Jesse Waters and the fucking Greg Gutfelds and the fucking, all these people. And the Glenn Beck and the fucking Michael Savage. And they got hundreds of these fucking people. They Nick Fuentes and the Tucker Carlsons and you can go on and on and on. But somehow they all get the same message. And they all talk about the same shit on the same day at the same time. Because like I told you, it's a brainwash machine. It's designed to sell you these lies. And by the time you realize they're not, you never realize they're not true because everywhere you look, they're telling the same story. That's how they brainwash you. Then you turn on a real news network and they say, that's not true. And you go, fake news! That's what it is. It's a mind fuck. And that's what they do. And it fucking works. Because I said, look at this country. You're like, well, if you don't let Trump put the boot on you, these people here, they're gonna declare Sharia law. The Muslim communists. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. This guy, Randy Fine, he's a congressman. He was saying, I swear to God, he's saying he wants them to deport Mamdani. I'm not kidding. Deport. They can't beat him. Deport him. That's right. For what? He's been at the New York City Councilman for years now. Come on. Deport him. This is how crazy these people are. This guy's a congressman. He's not just some jerk-off guy. He is a jerk-off, but he happens to be in Congress. Oh, wait. They're not even working, so Congress is shut down, so he's just talking, isn't he? They got a real power as long as Speaker don't open up the fucking House. And please, if anyone's watching this show, can you please give me a good reason still why Mike Johnson won't swear in the duly elected member of Congress from Arizona? Please explain to me if it's not because of the Epstein files. If you think that it's some other reason, I'd like to hear that reason. She's duly elected member of the U.S. government. She's still not sworn in. Why do you think that is? I reckon. You gonna sit here and tell me that it ain't because she's gonna do the 218th vote on Massey's petition to force a vote on the Epstein files on the floor of the House? Why else would it be shut down for fucking 3 months? That's the other thing that kills me. Mike Johnson said, well, we're working hard every day. Really? It says here you're not even on the clock. House is closed, got cobwebs on it. You're talking about we're hard at work. These are the most unscrupulous, dishonest fucks I've ever seen in my life. Yes. That's the other thing he keeps saying. He don't know nothing. Yeah, have you seen those clips? Mike Johnson has to say every day, oh, well, I didn't heard about that. Oh, really? I didn't know that. It's like, how can you the Speaker of the House? How you didn't know anything that's going on? Well, it's hard to see or hear anything with my head up Trump's ass. It's like, it's like a black hole. There's a hyperbolic chamber. It's unbelievable. This is our country. It's hard to be. Now, I was telling this man today at work. If you had someone in your family, they lie, like Trump lies, right? They just came to your house every day and just like spewed complete bullshit that you knew was complete bullshit. You kick them out of your family. You disinvite them to the holidays and shit. You wouldn't. People just let the president of the United States get away with this shit. And you wouldn't tolerate this in your personal life. If someone lied to you constantly in your personal life, they wouldn't be your friends anymore. Would they? Would you put up with that from somebody? If I was a cousin or something like that, right? It's like, this guy's full of shit. He's a fucking scumbag, sleazebag, scam artist, thief, or whatever. And you kick him out. You just go, you know what? You just stop inviting them to Christmas one year, because he's an asshole. Everybody has somebody like that in their family. Trump is that guy, only he's the president of the United States. Like I said, you would not tolerate that in your personal life. But yet, in politics, it's totally okay. That's like... I'm going to go... New York seeing a massive turnout. Yeah, that's right. Because that's why I'm kind of nervous, to tell you the truth. They used a lot of fucking smears against Mamdani. And there's a lot of people who are with Mamdani, but there was a lot of time.
What?
And money put into demonizing them and scaring people. And so, for as many people as coming out to vote for Mamdani, there's people who are coming out, you gotta stop the Muslim communists from declaring Sharia law. Making rape legal, or whatever. It's like, whatever stereotypes they use against fucking Middle Eastern type people. I don't believe, I forget where he's from. I think it's Africa somewhere. I don't think he's Middle Eastern. I could be wrong though. Once again, it's a bad job by me. I host a fucking show. I should do more research. I know the stories, but I don't know the real backstories like that. That's how you know you're a real reporter. You know Mamdani's entire life. And I don't know all that. I just know that he seems pretty cool to me, and like I said, everything that we've done thus far in this country has really worked. So why not try something new? And a new approach. You go, hey, let's care about people for a change. Whoa! That's a model fucking approach. Bernie, I said, he's like a young Bernie. That's why I like him. Because I love me some Bernie. But Bernie's old. John says Trump will send the National Guard to overthrow New York. You're probably right. We gotta free him from the communist Muslims. Dude, I said, I'm going to go upstairs and wait for the poll results to come in and just pray to God that all them and turn on Fox News and hopefully all their heads will explode like on that movie Scanners. If you've never seen Scanners, go back and watch it. But this is a movie where you have mental powers and they can make people's heads literally explode. That's what's going to happen tonight if Mamdani wins. It's like, it will be glorious. Get real high, I watch that. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Hey, I appreciate y'all for hanging out again. And all the new people, thank you for being here. Like I said, show really is picking up. And I appreciate that. I said, if you like this show, please tell your friends, because I've been trying to build this show. Like I said, they create people like Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld, right? They do, the machine. We need to create people like me. Once I have enough followers, I can move into that realm. And then I can be face to face with these fucking jerk offs and tell them, I can speak for you. Like I waited for Mitch McConnell to tell him to fuck off. I could do that. Go on the 5 and tell them all to go fuck themselves. It'll be glorious. You can help me. I said, tell your friends. I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And on Saturdays, sometimes we have Danielle Bellelli as our guest. And like I said, please hit the like button, subscribe, whatever else. I know I sound like a shield. I will never take a ruble like Tim Pool and Benny Johnson. I am American 100% through and through. Will never be financed by Russia. Thank you very much. Good night. I'll be back on Thursday, 6 p.m. Thank you.